actually Gabby, and this is my YouTube channel. So, today we're going to be doing part 4 of the Gabbing to Humanity series. What I want to go over is knowing yourself. Now, you've taken the first step, okay? You decided that you wanted it, right? You made the move, right? So, let's get to know ourselves. The whole reason why I feel it's important in your spiritual journey to know yourself is because it's your journey. You have to know where you're going, you have to know why you're going there, and most importantly, you have to know who you're taking, which is yourself. Now, I'm going to get kind of, what's the word? Technical or spiritually technical? I don't know. But there's a couple of things that I want to introduce to you that helped me get to know myself. Number one is shadow work. Now, your shadow self is the part of you that you are ashamed of, the part of you that's hidden, the part of you that you don't express. So, for example, with me, my shadow self, and it's not always negative either. My shadow self is, sometimes my manipulative side. That's manipulative. Yes. But also my vulnerable side. My side that is feminine. That's my shadow self. I stay more in a masculine body because that's how I was raised. I was put in a lot of situations where I felt like I had to protect myself so I can come off, or sometimes I lean towards my masculine side, right? So on in my shadow self, there's my more of the feminine energy, more of my vulnerability, and yeah, it could be like parts like pettiness and being really spiteful. But the whole point of getting to know your shadow self is not to judge it or to be embarrassed or ashamed of it, but to embrace it. This is your shadow self. It's also a part of you. There's yourself that you show the world, and there's the self that you don't want the world to know about. You know how they say, like, don't show a man like who you really are until you get married? Like, yourself is the part that you show before you're married and the other part, the shadow self, is the part that you show after everything is locked in. I don't suggest you do that because that is manipulative and also just straight lying, not being honest with yourself or your partner. But I digress. So, what you really want to focus on is accepting your shadow self, accepting this other part of yourself that has all of these characteristics that you wouldn't necessarily want other people to know about or show people unless they're really close to you. You want to accept it, be non judgmental to it. It is a part of you. See, if you are shaming or pushing away your shadow self, you're pushing away half of who you are. It's like, this is me, and this is my shadow. This is my shadow. You want to accept and embrace all parts of you, whether you feel like they're the parts that other people would accept or not, because it's not about other people on your journey. Or it'd be like, Wizard of Oz. Okay, you're not linking arms with a bunch of people and going from point from the beginning to the end, right? You meet people along the way, and then they go off and do their own thing because your journey is your journey. So you want to make sure that you're accepting yourself completely, even the parts of yourself that you may not necessarily like or feel like you should embrace, but you should embrace it. It is you. Embrace yourself. Listen to these words. Embrace yourself, no matter what parts, the good, the bad and ugly, the pretty, like, they're just two sides of one coin. Everything has balance. This is your positive side, your shadow self is your quote unquote negative side. But like I said, there are two sides of one coin. So you have to have balance. You can't have one side that you accept and have the other side that you don't accept at all. Doesn't work that way. Step two, or another thing that you can do is child work. Your inner child work, right? So, how do I explain inner child work? We have memories of our childhood, and a lot of these memories and instances from our childhood affect us as adults. When they say childhood trauma, that is a very real thing. A lot of the things that you do, a lot of things that you say, a lot of things that you want, a lot of the things that you go after, a lot of the arguments you may have, a lot of your little like, oh, I don't like the color pink, or ew, I don't like when people sneeze around me. All of these things crop up like during our childhood. We develop these kind of I don't want to call them all traumas because they're not all traumas, but childhood work is very important because there are a lot of things that you might be trying to heal, or there might be a lot of things that you need to understand for yourself now as an adult that stem from your childhood. For example, I was afraid of the dark for a long time as a child, and I had to not even like grow up, but like heal from this idea that darkness meant bad. Darkness meant scary, It's just like little things like that. Like if you have a problem with, I don't know, dogs, go back to your childhood memories. This is something that you really have to meditate on. You have to sit down with yourself in a quiet space and just really think backwards or even think forwards from the beginning of why you have these issues, why you have these traumas, where do they stem from, and not even to look back at it. And again, it's just the same thing as with the shadow self. You don't want to look back on these memories and these instances and judge them or feel guilt or shame. You want to accept it. It's all about accepting yourself. You're not learning about yourself to shame yourself or judge yourself or like, oh, I don't like that part of me. No. You want to accept all parts of yourself, your childhood memories, those things that are embarrassing, those things that you feel shame about, like masturbating, for an instance. A lot of people, like, they start masturbating at a young age or watching porn and they feel shame for it, still in their adult lives. Or, like, there was a certain food that you used to eat a lot as a kid, and now as an adult it's unhealthy for you, but you can't stop eating it because it just brings back that nostalgia. It's not always bad things. It's just these little things that affect you in your adult life that you might be trying to get rid of or trying to change. You're letting go of these habits that you developed as a child in order to cope with your childhood. And now you're an adult and you're no longer coping with your childhood. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I don't know anybody else's situation, but you want to let go of those things because now you are at a different place in your life. Working on your inner child is definitely a good way to get to know yourself and understand yourself better. Now, the third thing, okay, I almost said an astro head. I don't know if that's a thing, but let's just use that term. I am an astro head, okay? I love astrology. I am currently in the process of learning more about astrology because it has helped me understand myself. Now, I know there's some people who's like, oh, astrology ain't real and like it don't tell you nothing. It's just general information and anybody can say. Don't get me wrong. There is a lot of general astrology out there, like, oh, Cancer, I'm a Cancer. Cancers are all, crybabies, or Leos are all full of themselves, or Scorpios are crazy and you can't trust Geminis, and like all types of nonsense. I mean, it's not exactly nonsense, but what I'm saying is that there's general information out there about the zodiac signs, and it doesn't really go into depth. And when you go into depth and learn more about the zodiac signs, that's when you really get into it, okay? There are lots of books, lots of websites, lots of information about out there about astrology and the zodiac signs. And let me tell you something. You cannot say, I mean, you can say whatever you want. This is just my personal opinion. You cannot say that you don't believe in astrology, because if you don't believe in astrology, then you don't believe in the planets. Okay? You don't believe in the moon, the sun, the planets, the water in the ocean. You don't believe in the stars. You don't believe in time, and you don't believe in place, because that is all what astrology encompasses. Like, all of those things, right? I'm saying right. I'm telling you that's what it is. So for you to say, like, or just completely decide that you don't want to deal with it because you feel like it's BS, pretty much, you're just gonna be, you're what's the word? Short-sighting yourself, you know? I suggest find out your birth chart. I know that there's a lot of people don't know what time they were born. A lot of people's mothers don't know what time they were born. A lot of people, don't have their birth certificate, or they weren't born in a hospital, but you can still figure it out in different ways. I suggest you Google it, Google how to do it. I use time passages. I put in my name, my date of birth, what hospital I was born in, and what time I was born. And when I tell you, you really get to know yourself through your zodiac sign. I have always felt like I was confused, contradicting myself mentally. Like, I love to be at home. I love my space. I love my quiet time. I love the isolation. I love to be in my home. Not in a house, in my home, like my space, okay? But when I would go out, I was the life of the party, and I could not understand. I'm just like, I know I'm a Cancer, so the introverted side of me makes sense. But am I also like, what, introvert out of the opposite? Am I also the I don't know why I forgot the word. Am I also the opposite? Like, I was just so confused for so long, and then when I got my birth chart, I was like, oh, I am a Cancer sun, a Cancer moon, and a Leo rising. And I was like, this all makes sense. When I meet people, when I go places, I'm just like, hey, what's up? Hi. I'm not shy. I'm not afraid to talk to people. I'm not going to stand off in the corner when I go to a party. I'm going to be in the middle of the dance floor. Like, that's how I am. And that is all due to my Leo rising. Okay. What else did I learn about myself? Okay, so when I started going more in depth to the birth chart, I am, for example, I have my Venus is in Gemini, or my Gemini is in my Venus is in Gemini, and it just explains the way that I love. I'm just like, okay, I need to be stimulated, Like, I love conversation. If we can't have a conversation, we ain't gonna have nothing, baby. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Who am I calling baby? But anyways, like, these are the things that you learn about yourself. I learned about my Mars, which is in Virgo, I think. And it just really explains, like, it's like, it just explains who you are. Okay? Do it. I'm telling you that when you start to better understand yourself, why you do the things that you do, why you like the things that you like, it just really helps you. Like, I have been, okay, this is kind of TMI, but I have been celibate, abstinent. I don't really put a name to it. I haven't had sex in 5 years. It was a choice. I decided not to do so. Okay? And I didn't understand why, like, I wasn't craving it. I didn't want to do. I didn't really care for it. I am perfectly fine. And I thought there was something wrong with me. But then when I looked into my Venus, where, my love is, and it's in Gemini, it completely explained, these astrologists explained why I'm great, you know? And it's just having the clarification of who you are and why you do the things you do and why you like the things that you like, why you say the things that you do. It just really helps you on this journey, because when you have understanding into who you are, with the zodiac signs, the birth charts, the shadow work, the inner child work, it's just so helpful knowing who you are, understanding where you come from, understanding why you do the things that you do. You're better able to accept yourself. And when you accept yourself, it's easier for you to focus on your journey and not get so caught up in, like, the little things. You're able to focus on the bigger picture, not, oh, why do I do this? Or why am I like this? Or, like, I am a Cancer, Sun and Moon. Okay? I am very emotional. My emotions are controlled by the waters and the moons. As a human being, we're like 97% water. Don't quote me on that, because I can be wrong. Okay? We have a lot of water in our bodies. And I'm controlled by the moon. The ebb and flow of the waves is like what's going on with my body, is what's going on with my emotions. I will be 1 minute and be like, the next second. Okay? And I could, for the longest time, I couldn't understand what the hell my problem was. I was like, am I bipolar? Am I crazy? Like, who does this? Cancers do. Okay? And for the longest time, I hated my vulnerability. I hated that every little thing people would say would hurt my damn feelings. I was like, I'm a thug, manawal. Like, I'm not going to let these things bother me because it doesn't matter. And this, no, I am an empath. I feel people's emotions, people's energies. A lot of time people would just, and people could feel that it's like they had like a kind of sixth sense that I understand them. I'm not going to judge them because I already feel what they're feeling. And people will come to me and tell me their whole life story, tell me all their business. I've had people come to me and tell me that they have 3 months to live. I've had people come up to me and tell me that their brother just died. I've had people just, I'll sit next to a person and just start telling me about their relationship problems. No, hi, my name is, no, what's your name, no, nothing. Just start talk. And that's the empathic nature. That's the energy that we put out, that we're healers and that we're able to handle whatever it is that you have to throw at us. But for a long time, I couldn't handle any of that. I was quite confused. That's another story for another time. But what I'm saying is, because I understand that, because I did the research, because I did the reading, because I gained the knowledge, it's easier for me to accept. Okay? It's easier for me to accept what's going on in my life. Know who you are. Accept who you are. When you do that, you're golden. It's just like you're walking down your journey. Wipe your tears, keep going. I'm emotional. It's okay. I accept it. I'm not going to stop and start questioning why I'm crying for no reason, because it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter because this is who I am. This is who I am. I accept myself for all the pieces, all the stuff that I did not want other people to see. I accept it, I surrender to it, and I just flow, you know? My journey is the river. I lay down in it and I just lazy like, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, thank you so much for listening to me ramble on. I hope that you got something out of this. You know, peace, love, and moonlight. Thank you.